It is an unprecedented time in not only the history of sports here in this country, but in this country in general. Just incredible with basically every sport outside of the PGA Tour, which I'm actually watching right now, Sawgrass, the players, everything else. The baseball for, I guess, today and tomorrow, that's it. And there is no other sports for the foreseeable future.
Well, a couple of days ago, we got a phone call from somebody when Gary Sanchez had the fever.
Yep.
And asked that, what if?
Yep.
What if it came back that he or a baseball player had this coronavirus? And I think you and I said, probably not the case, but they would shut everything down.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Yep.
I mean, last night, everything changed. And it was odd because I'm not going to sit here and tell you I was going to be glued to Oklahoma City, Utah, but I was playing FanDuel. I had picked up players for, a kind of a daily fantasy league that our old buddy T-Roy usually sets up. And I had briefly checked out how my guy's doing, and I saw that there was a delay. And right at that moment, it's like, what's going on?
No, you knew something was up. Yep.
So there's all these mysterious things going on about, all right, they haven't started the game. The players are on the court. Wait a second, it looked like a doctor just ran on the court. Now everybody's left. What's going on? Ernie and I are texting each other. What is going on with this Thunder Jazz game? And that inevitable story that came out, I'd say a half hour, maybe 20 minutes after they decided to postpone the game, that Rudy Gobert, who a couple of days earlier was joking. He was having a good time. He was having fun with the new media policy, so he decided to touch all the microphones and kind of laugh about it. He tested positive for coronavirus. And at that moment, even though you can't absorb everything in 30 seconds, you knew everything had changed. Everything had changed. And it didn't take long for Woj to drop the bomb of NBA is suspending the season as there were games going on. As the Knicks are playing a basketball game.
Of course.
And so
as I'm watching St. John's Georgetown, really. I mean,
this is all happening as this is occurring. But the NBA swiftly, and it should surprise nobody, once there was a positive test, and we later find out that Donovan Mitchell has tested positive for coronavirus. Luckily, no one else with the Utah Jazz. At least that's the report as of this morning. And you just knew everything has changed.
Well, I think even if these guys had not tested positive, this was going to happen. I think this was inevitable, bro. I mean, with the way things were going, now we see that all travel, I guess, to Europe has been shut down. I mean, just with the way things were going, it was inevitable that everything. I mean, the NHL is now shut down. All the conference tournaments in college basketball is shut down. I can't believe they're going to play the NCAA tournament.
Well, here's how you know the NCAA tournament is not going to happen. I'll confirm this for you. Kansas and Duke both announced that they are suspending athletic activities, which means they're not participating if there is a tournament.
So there isn't going to be one.
There's not going to be one.
No.
You know, when you think of it from a sports perspective, the NBA can push the season back. It's odd. It's different. It's weird. They can do that. Same with the NHL.
Right.
I don't know if that's an option with the NCAA tournament.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think we'll see the NBA for the playoffs. That's what I think. I think what's going to ultimately happen, there's not a ton of regular season games left. And I think what will happen is they'll wipe out the rest of the regular season, and hopefully this will all be behind us, and they'll just play the playoffs.
Well, that's the mystery of this whole thing. I mean, we are on the verge of shutting everything down in this country. We know what happened in Italy, and that's probably going to happen here. I mean, at this point, things change so quickly over the last 24 hours. 24 hours ago, we're on the air thinking, they'll do some empty arena games. We didn't think with it less than 24 hours, NBA, NHL suspended, NCAA on the verge of a suspension or a cancellation, and Major League Baseball suspending spring training after today. They haven't officially announced that yet, but both John Heyman and Joel Sherman are reporting it, that's the inevitability. So things are changing so fast that the next question you have is, well, how long does this last? I mean, is this something that, it's 3 weeks, or, it's a month, or it's 3 months? I don't know the answer to that. I'm certainly not a doctor. You aren't. I don't even know if the doctors and scientists know the answer to that. That what shutting things down will do. It will probably help, obviously. Sure. Things will get worse before they get better, which I think all of us have heard. But I don't know when we're seeing an NBA game or an NHL game or a baseball game, or when that opening day is going to occur. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I think the NCAA tournament is the one thing that just may not happen, period.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because those other things can be pushed back.
I don't know how far you could push the NCAA tournament back. I mean, could you play it, let's say, at the end of April? Could you play it then?
Look, I don't know. In our brain, sure, you could play it, but they're college kids. right? So I don't know. I mean, there are some of these kids that want to go to the NBA draft. There's other factors involved more than a professional athlete who's paid millions of dollars where you can say, all right, we'll just push the schedule back and we'll start the playoffs in May. I don't know if that's a realistic option for the NCAA. Will there even be a selection
Sunday now? I doubt it.
For what?
Right. I mean, what's the point?
And the Big East looked so late on this because this morning, one by one,
they actually started playing the game.
They played a half of the St. John's Creighton game. She played a half of it, which is like remarkable.
It's unbelievable.
Considering, Jerry Recco's out in Indianapolis, boom, the Rutgers game and the Big Ten tournament is canceled. All these tournaments are one by one stopping, and they started the St. John's game, and they made them play a half, which St. John's was winning, by the way, I think by 2 or 3 points. Not that matters. But they actually made these kids play the game, and then finally at halftime, they said, gee golly.
See ya.
No other conference is playing games. Maybe we should stop our games.
Yep.
And so now, like you said, Joe, we're in this unprecedented time where everything has stopped. And then there's the mystery of, okay, everything stopped. We understand the seriousness of the issue. When do we start again? And no one knows the answer to that.
Yeah, it's the unknown. I mean, let's be real. I mean, we don't know how long. Like you said it. You heard... who was it? What's his name? The big Dr. Fauci? Is that his name? You heard him say in front of Congress or whatever, this is going to get worse before it's going to get better. Yeah, and he was the one, I mentioned this to you yesterday off air, when he said that it's not a good idea to have big public events. Right. That's when you knew, how are you going to have any of these events? That's exactly right.
And certainly the option was there to play the games, which I thought would have been great. It would have been a great distraction for everybody stuck at home to watch sporting events, even if nobody's there. Like, it's something. It's a distraction. We know how great sports can be when there's real issues going on to serve as a distraction. But once a player tests positive and we see this spread continuing, it wasn't going to happen. It's too risky. Because you use your brain and you say, well, there's probably somebody in the NHL who may have coronavirus. There's probably somebody in college who has it.
You would think so.
You don't know.
You would think so.
So everything has stopped. And now we wait for official word from Major League Baseball. We await for the NCAA to tell us what we're all expecting, and that's the fact that this tournament is not going to happen. Now, for them, the question is, are they going to just say flat out, it is not happening, it's over, there's no champion this year, we're not having a tournament in 2020. The other sports are using the word suspend, which they can do. Right. So I think that'll be interesting to follow how the NCAA handles it and what their realistic options are. Is it an option to push this thing back? Could we have May Madness? Could we have June Madness?
Is that an option? Something? How about this idea? Okay, for the NCAA. And by the way, the one thing I think was that we probably will have the free agency period next week. I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think that'll happen in the NFL. I would think so.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that real quick before you get to your next point.
Right.
Obviously, the whole idea of a general manager pulling up to somebody's house, that's probably not happening. But you're right. You can still, as a player, talk to your agent on the phone who's talking to GMs on the phone. Right. So just using common sense, sure, you can still have it.
That's going to fly.
Right. You can still have that. You're right.
Yeah. But I wonder, though, if they would do something like this. Now, maybe I'm crazy. Because what's the Final Four weekend is not for, really a month. What is it? April, the Masters is the 12th it ends the 12th.
April 4th and 6th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you basically got just about a month. So would they do something, let's say if it all calms down by that point, where they would say, okay, the top 4 seeds are the Final Four. Would they do something like that?
I mean, I think right now, bro,
everything
should be on the table. Everything should be on the table. Because, look, in a perfect world, we want the fairest NBA playoffs and the fairest NCAA tournament if those things happen. But sometimes when reality sets in, you've just got to figure out the best case scenario.
Right.
So you float out an interesting idea? Sure. I mean, I think it's possible.
I mean, maybe you would.
Or even lowering it to 8 teams are in it, or 6 teams, or changing it. And I understand why that seems unfair to the kids at Hofstra. Yeah. And it seems unfair to the kids at Rutgers. Look, none of this is fair. Right now, it's a public safety issue. So I think we all fully understand why these things are being canceled now. Okay? I think we get it now.
Well,
it's obvious now.
You don't get it. When are you ever going to get it?
You're never going to get it. So we know why they're doing it. So, okay, when things are safe, when our scientists, and that's the thing with stuff like this, we just got to trust the people that know more.
Right.
We got to trust the scientists. We got to trust the doctors. I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor. You're not a scientist. We don't know. When they tell us, you know what? we have stopped the spread of this, it's actually gone back, it's now safe to come out, as they say, then you kind of see where you are on the calendar and see what's feasible. What can you do? The concern with college is you're talking about college kids, so you're trying to figure out the feasibility of it. But I think anything that crowns a champion, even if it's not the same exact format as we were planning on having on Selection Sunday, I think works. So if you want to cut it down to 4 or 8 or 16, whatever it is, I think that, it would be great for America once we are past this, and we will get past this, to have the distraction that sports is. Because that's part of why we love it. We say this all the time. Whenever something terrible happens in the world, and sometimes it happens too often, you always say this is the toy store.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Unfortunately, the toy store has been closed.
Yep.
And so we're living in a different world right now.